Hey, welcome to this episode of Our American Travel. I'm Al.
I'm Melanie.
Hey, today we're going to do something a little bit different. What is it we're going to do that's different?
Well, we recently were on our 21-day summer trip when we had a crisis?
Circumstance.
So our title, whatever, is what do you do when you're forced to change your plans because of circumstances beyond your control?
Exactly.
That's a lot of words.
We had a plan.
Yeah.
We went to Mammoth Cave and we went to Noah's Ark, and we've still got some video to come on some of those things.
We went to North Carolina.
To
see our family.
And then we planned to come back through Mayberry.
Mount Airy, North
Carolina. And then through Pigeon Forge area, and some of that we just had to kind of drop because some circumstances happened.
Stuff happens. So
maybe that's the title. Stuff
happens. That's a good title. Good. Okay.
So thanks for coming along in this episode, and we're going to bring you some of the things, some of our thought patterns as we had to talk about that.
Going to kind of tell you about stuff. What happened?
Yeah, the stuff happened.
Yeah. So we left on a Thursday afternoon.
And we went all the way to Paducah, Kentucky.
We
stayed
did.
at KOA. And we have some videos out about this, and we'll put them in the description for you. We stayed at the Kentucky Lakes KOA. And then we
were in Cave City, Kentucky. Went to Mammoth Cave and
went
to Crystal Onyx
Cave.
And when we came out of Crystal Onyx Cave, I had a text message from my daughter that said, "Call me as soon as you can." So that's never what you want to get, right?
We have a daughter that lives at home with us.
Yeah.
So
we did, and my dad. We all live in you may have seen some of our construction videos. We live in two separate parts of the house.
It's a commune, right?
Yeah.
Actually, they have an apartment that's attached to the house that we're living in.
He had gone to the hospital because his Apple Watch told him something was wrong with his heart. Told him he was in atrial fibrillation. AFib, and was in the hospital, and he was by the time we got there, he was being put in an ICU room by the time I actually was able to get in touch with him. So he's in ICU. This was Thursday, Friday. That was Father's Day, the 18th. We left on the 15th, right? Afternoon?
I think it was the 16th we left on.
Okay. So we hadn't been gone very long, right? And then my dad's in the hospital. He's 85. So there we have stuff happens, and we're kind of like...
I think he's 86, but he'll be 86 next month.
Yeah, August 6th. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
There's a lot of these things you don't know.
You're right. Anyway, so that basically kind of threw a wrench into all our plan.
We didn't know what to do next, so to speak.
Well, yeah, of course. Your dad's sick. He's in ICU. You want to come home. Then we also, our only grandchild, lives on the East Coast, and this is our summer when we get to go spend a week there. We camp, and then we see them, nights and weekends and stuff. And my dad was telling us, don't come home. Don't come home. Don't come home. So this is what we did. Still, I think you always question what you do. We're going to kind of go through our thought process. How do we address this? What do we do? We have 3 things. We don't have 5. Sorry. We just got 3 things that we kind of had to consider as a result of this. We had reservations all the way, right?
Yep.
For 21 days. Total round trip.
I think it was about 19 days, but it's close to 21.
19 days. Okay. So, anyway, we're getting ready to get to our first thing. Okay, our first piece of advice is to, 1...
Look at the facts.
Check the facts, yeah.
Just the facts, ma'am?
Just the facts, ma'am, yeah.
Dragnet.
Okay, never heard of it.
You don't know what Dragnet is?
No.
It was a TV show back in the 60s.
Here's some facts. Number 1, my dad had a very serious condition. He was in ICU, but his condition was being regulated by medication, and he was in the very best place he could be with very excellent care. Now, there's an issue. My mom probably was more of a concern because she needed emotional support. It was her husband that was in the hospital that was sick, and they have been married.
Would you want somebody if I was in the hospital?
Yes.
Okay.
They've been married 68 years or something.
I don't know. I don't think she would. I think she'd just stay.
Anyway, the second fact is my mom and dad both told us, don't come home. We are fine. We are good. Take your trip. Go see their granddaughter and great grandson and our son-in-law. What's the second fact? What's the third? Oh, the third fact: our daughter in North Carolina is a nurse, and she's been in this medical situation many times with her patients. And when she gave us questions to ask, and we got the answers, felt like that that he was in a good place and it was okay. So check your facts before you make a decision. Don't make an emotional decision.
So, just the facts.
Just the facts.
So, the second thing that we looked at is we had to kind of look at the consequences of all the possible decisions. Well, there's a bunch of things. What were some of the consequences that we had to think about?
Okay, well, I guess the main consequence, if we decided to turn around and come home, we had all of these reservations already paid for.
Was that as big a consequence as seeing our grandson?
Yeah,
and
that
daughter?
was the biggest thing. I mean, they live in North Carolina. We only see them 3 to 4 times a year. So if we didn't see him now, and our daughter and son-in-law, we wouldn't see him probably till Christmas. And that was actually
a pretty big
deciding factor.
And then, could you cancel your reservations? Would you get your money back? That was a pretty minor
small
one.
Yeah.
The money was already spent, so
yeah.
If it's already spent, it's already spent. Although you hate for it to kind of go away, but not that big a deal.
And we weren't at any expensive kind of resorts.
And then we kind of we decided to go back. Another consequences, we kind of decided, we're going to go back a little different route than we planned.
Yeah.
So we had to look for some reservations for another place. We're going to take 2 days to get back. And
can you find a safe place to stay? Stuff like that.
So that was another.
It's too hot to boondock anywhere.
Consequence or whatever.
We don't have a generator, so.
Yeah, so we needed a place to plug in.
So look at your consequences. Look at what's going to happen, so you can make a rational decision.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay.
It's either stay or go, and we ultimately made our decision based on those 2 or 3 things.
Yeah. Okay, so the last thing you're going to have to bite the bullet, make a decision. Now we did kind of put that off a little bit because we had how many days?
So what was our decision ultimately?
Well, basically,
do we need to say that now? Yeah.
Well, I think in a minute
so.
we will.
Okay.
I think we should explain what happened. We could have turned around immediately.
So
we did not do that.
Let's cap up where we're at, because I don't think.
Okay.
So we spent one night in Kentucky, and then we spent 3 more nights in Kentucky, and then we spent 2 more nights in Kentucky at 3 different places. So we're about 6 nights in, and that's when we're about 400 miles or so away, and we got to kind of make a decision at that point whether we come back or not.
And honestly, it wasn't nearly as fun because we were worried.
Yeah, so we were thinking about things at home, and so we couldn't really focus on doing different things. And then we decided to go ahead and go to North Carolina.
Yes.
Now
at that, we did have conversations with medical personnel at the hospital.
Yeah, every day she'd call and check with the nurse and so forth. But so we had about a 300-mile journey or whatever to get on out to Raleigh to see our grandson, which we really wanted to do, and of course our daughter and son-in-law, which we don't see them either.
And their dogs, 3 dogs.
We give them the illusion that we're coming to see them when we're really not. Anyway, right?
We want to see them all. We miss them.
Yeah, so we do, and we don't get to see them often. But anyway, so that's what we ended up doing. So this third point really is just make a decision. And ultimately, we decided.
Well, actually, then we had another decision before that, because we were supposed to stay in Raleigh for 7 days.
Right, we had 7 nights there.
Yeah. And we got there on a Thursday afternoon.
That's right, Thursday afternoon.
And they worked, so we saw them Thursday night, Friday night. And then it was the weekend. So do we stay 7 days and then turn around and go home? Do we keep going the whole 19 days, or do we leave home after that?
Right. So ultimately what we did there is we spent 4 nights there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately our grandson was sick a couple of those days.
He was,
and,
a little daycare bug.
And our son-in-law was not feeling
sick.
well a little bit.
And
so
actually one night our daughter didn't feel well.
Yeah, and actually the first day we got there she didn't feel good, I think. And so it was kind of a...
We were kind of in their way anyway, though.
Yeah, we're kind of in their way while they were getting better, and
even though we loved being there.
So we decided after 4 nights we'd come on home. On a Monday morning we took off from, where did we take off from? From Selma, North Carolina, just outside of Raleigh, and we decided to go the southern route on the way home through South Carolina and Georgia. And so we just made a beeline and made it as far as we could, and we came a little over 500 miles into
Yeah.
into Alabama, and we
Which
found a
you
place.
never do. We never try to go over 300. We're driving a bigger trailer than we ever have. Or
Yeah.
I'm not. He is. And
Yeah, I'm not really driving a trailer, but we're pulling
driving
one.
a truck, pulling a trailer. Yeah.
You get the point.
And we never went over like 200. I don't think. But one
Yeah, on the
day
way out, we were going about 250 at the
Yeah.
most, and so
Yeah.
that it's a much longer trip. But we got up early. We left at 6 o'clock.
Yes, we did. We hooked up the night
which is
before.
5 o'clock in Central Time, and so time we pulled into Alabama, we still got in by 4 or 5 o'clock. So it
Yeah.
wasn't
Stayed at
extremely late.
Talladega, right across the street from the Talladega.
Yeah, we were
Speedway,
real close to
sort
the
of.
Talladega Raceway there, so it's about 500 miles, and so it worked out real well. So we only had about 300 miles the next
Yeah.
day, and we got up, got in, got home, and
Yeah.
got here in plenty of time.
Yeah, so we kind of made a compromise, I guess. We didn't take our whole trip, but we didn't come back right away.
So
And by the time I got back, my dad was out of ICU into a regular room.
yeah, he was in
so
a regular
was
room,
good.
and then he, he's been recovering well, and
Yeah.
so we're looking forward to getting him home here. So thanks so much for watching this episode of Our American Travel. I know it's kind of different than most, but really, stuff happens, doesn't it?
Stuff happens.
Stuff
yeah.
often happens. It could be other kinds of things. This was a kind of a family crisis, but it could be something to do with your RV. It could be something to do with your tow vehicle. It could be
It
something.
could be your health.
It could be your
Yeah.
health. So there's all kinds of things. And so I thought it might be good just for us to spend a few minutes being real with you. So
Yeah.
hopefully this will be helpful as you think through times when you're out on the road and need to make decisions. It's not earth-shattering, but it's just what we
So,
did.
Yeah, look at the facts, look at the consequences, and then bottom line, you just have to
You got to
go with your
decide
gut,
and
kinda.
go for
And
it.
seek knowledgeable advice.
Yeah.
We did talk to
Healthcare professionals.
healthcare, and then our daughter, who is a healthcare
and
professional,
her brother and
yeah.
wife and
Yeah.
so forth. So
Because, they have.
anyway, so thanks for watching. We'd love it if you'd like and subscribe.
Yes, we would.
Click that notification button so you'll know when the next one comes out. And remember, it's all about enjoying the journey.
Sorry, it doesn't say it's all about enjoying the journey. It just says it's all about the journey.
It's all about the journey. Thanks.